Hello everybody, this is Delpha, and today we're going to be playing Sharin no Kuni Himawari no Shoujo. This game got recommended to me, however, at the moment, I can't remember the guy's name. So I'll put the name in the description and I'll pop it up right now. Okay, there we go. Also, I have played this game before, a few years ago, so I know a bit about it. I'm trying to remember. I'm failing. So let's just start. Why not? Oh god. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Marita Kenichi. I love sci-fi novels and my older sister. Said novels often mention a country known as Japan. You might already know about it, but I really do find it quite the interesting island. What exactly is so fascinating about it, you may ask? Well, for example, if you kill someone in real life, you must then bear the obligation of never having children. Oh god, yeah, forgot about that. And of course, you are also placed under the care of those most intimidating, special high-class individuals. But that's not how it works in Japan. Murderers are hanged there. Alternatively, convicts may be confined to for a decade or two. Life sentences are fairly common as well. Those penitentiaries I referred to could be considered prisons or jails. Our country lacks similar institutions, so I find Japan's judicial system quite intriguing. These prisons are populated by the seediest louses around. Murderers, thieves, rapists. Honestly, they came across as criminal theme parks to me. For less serious crimes, like speeding, it seems that the perpetrator must simply provide the government with suitable reparations in the form of money. Hangings, penitentiaries, fines. In contrast to our system of meticulously detailed punishments specifically tailored to each crime, Japan seems to cover every offence with one of these three, which raises the question of whether or not said methods are really effective means of rehabilitation. Then again, I don't know why we forbid murderers to have children either. But hey, some intellectual in an important position who waxed erudite about stuff like genetically inherited selfishness, the metaphysics of crime, and self-confrontations with the religious other created our laws. So who are we to complain? People who live in Japan probably just follow their government's proclamations without complaint too. So I guess it's not my place to speak out against their pre-established judicial customs. In the end, what it all comes down to is how you make a living, regardless of where you reside. It's all about how some jackass like me can proclaim his love for his sister to the world. In the near future. In a not-so-distant place. God. A lot of words. A lot of big words for Alex. God. It's all about law in this game. I had been walking for 6 hours straight, with no ray a glance over my shoulder. Now, there are a good deal of bus stops, even out in the country. I didn't mean to do that. You might even have been able to hitch a ride with a kindly old truck driver. However, my hometown could have been more appropriately termed the frontier than the country. Lush sunflowers surrounded me. The air in the mountains offered an exhilaration one just couldn't get from the air in the city. I cast my eyes towards the sun. Where? I guess that thing at the top is the sun. That thing. It doesn't really look like the sun. It looks like another cloud. I made it. I took a deep breath. I rested on the gravel road beneath me. You're probably already aware of this, but excessive loneliness induces insanity. Take me, for example. When I was 7 years old, I was abducted by an old man who offered me candy. Thank you, old man. At age 10, I spent some time in a northern country, and there was that time I joined a cult when I was 13. When I was 15, I worked in an S&M specialty shop. I got plenty of hard M training there. It should be obvious at this point, but my parents are long gone. My mother died immediately after giving birth to me. Her last words were, "Always eat your carrots and always drink your milk." A health net to the end. Thanks to her, I have a body of steel. My father was a judicial clerk by day and a pro wrestler by night. Now, let me tell you, judicial clerks lay the smackdown pretty intelligently. However, even legendary, invincible masked heroes have their limits. At the age of 38, he became a star amid the night sky after sacrificing himself to rescue a girl who had darted into the middle of the road. Having said that, here I stand today. I am a man who has overcome cruel adversity, various difficulties, compounded trauma, devious brainwashing, and the heartbreaking loss of his loved ones. I'm a superhuman who has transcended to the notion of growth. What's more, I'm still young and fresh. Well, such traits are expected from candidates for the position of special high-class individual. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, let's take a look inside this bag I've been lugging the entire way. This wondrous bag is fitting for a superhuman of my stature. A silver cerulean case. I took a rather ornate ivory pipe out of it and raised it to my lips. Smoking tobacco isn't a crime for students like me, as long as no one finds out, though this ain't tobacco I'm smoking. Soo-hoo. Soo-hoo. Ah, here it came. 'Twas the awesome sensation of a downer. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Ah, man, good stuff. Good stuff. I wanted to die. My consciousness gradually faded away. There's the not-so-sun again. I lay down on the field and gazed up at the sky. I kind of felt like closing my eyes. So the final exam is in my hometown, eh? Just what the hell is it going to be anyway? Well, whatever. Speculating will get me nowhere. So I'd better rest while I have the chance. So let's get some sleep. By the way, I also sleep in a manner befitting of a superhuman. I can sleep in any situation, be it in the desert or on top of a glacier. Good night. I thought it would be nice if, when I woke up, it was in a country like Japan, and if, while I was sleeping peacefully on a comfortable bed, my older sister came to wake me up. Hello? Hello? I must have been deathly tired. I had only planned to nap for a bit, but it seemed that I had been sleeping quite deeply. When I woke up, hello girl, someone was staring at me. No, I was asleep. She started speaking to me. Not really. Nah, that happens all the time. Nope. She had noticed, but she simply pretended that she hadn't seen anything. Everyone had the same reaction, each and every single time. And you would be... Well, that's good to know. That was not what I meant. What are you doing all the way out here? Are you planning to leave town? If that's the case, you should probably reconsider.
いいえ、違います。
She was pretty fidgety. Perhaps she wasn't very good at speaking with others.
ぼーっとしてるんです。日向ぼっこです。
Were you? That did seem to be the case. I see. Sorry to have bothered you.
いいえ。
Good night. I closed my eyes once more. Bye.
でも
Let me sleep. She was flustered.
ちょっとですね。人を
For who?
待ってるんです。
Okay. Someone?
帰ってこないかなって。帰ってきてもしょうがないんですけど、それでも帰ってきてほしいなって。
Have you been waiting for them all this time? She fell silent.
そうかもしれません。
Who are they? Your boyfriend or something? Bullseye.
帰ってきますかね。
Don't ask me.
ごめんなさい。病気で辛いのにこんなに話しかけてしまって。
Don't worry about it. It seemed I had gotten myself into a fine pickle. I don't think your boyfriend is going to come back. At least, I don't think he'll come back to this town.
そうですか。
Boondocks.
ここは田舎ですからね。
The outskirts? Boondocks. Yep, nobody wants to live out
あ
here.
なたは大人な人ですね。
Oh, you noticed, did you? Yes, thank you. Yes. Look at my six-pack. What do you mean?
だってみんな
Well,
は
I guess I am smoking
きっと帰
tobacco.
ってくるって
A fake type of
言ってくれ
tobacco,
る
I
んです。
suppose.
彼は
I think.
死んでしまったかもしれないのに帰ってくるって言うんです。
You have good friends. You should listen to them. Not a stranger like me.
はい。
She didn't sound very convinced. Let me tell you something pointless then. If you keep this guy in your thoughts, then you might be able to meet him again someday. Of course, I wasn't talking about a miracle.
ありがとうございます。
Well then. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
辛
Now that's a
い
yawn.
なら町まで案内しますよ。
No thanks.
でも
And asleep again. Somehow her voice had elicited a sense of nostalgia. It was kind of pleasant. As my consciousness was slipping away. Ken-chan. I felt that she called me that. My lips felt wet. Did she kiss me? Huh? I slept well. I felt pretty good. Alright, I think it's about time for the test to begin. I stretched out. Hey, the girl from before lay collapsed in front of me. She didn't look too good. I examined her more closely and found that a water bottle was tied around her slender finger with a string. And my thirst had been quenched when I had woken up. So she gave me, as soon as I bent down to pick her up. Ah yeah, the badges. These are very important because if you break them, something really bad happens. The badge on her chest entered my field of vision. It served as proof of her obligation. Prohibition of contact with the opposite gender, huh? In other words, her obligation was do not fall in love. But technically, what if she falls in love with a girl? What happens then? Interesting. Thanks to that, I found myself unable to touch her. You see, said obligation forbid any bodily contact with the opposite gender. If she were to touch someone else, it would be a crime. If someone else were to touch her, it would still be a crime. In either case, the perpetrator would be sent to a concentration camp. Oh god. Oh dear, Hitler's around. The only men who were allowed to touch this girl were...
Morita.
Yeah, this guy. This big dick. If I remember, he's really annoying. I think. Hozuki Mazomi. Sir, it's been a while. Special high-class individuals like old Pops here, who had just arrived on the scene. Sir, this girl. He just stood there, ignoring the girl's ragged breathing. He could not have failed to notice just how hot the ground around him, the ground where the girl lay, was. Sir, please, I'm afraid this girl is going to come down with heat stroke. The eyes that shone deep within his chiseled visage shot me a glance. He clearly did not intend to listen to me. Oh boy. Instinct compelled me to a position of attention.
実はこの町、四方を山脈が包む盆地であり、土地面積は600平方キロメートルほど。その 70% ほどを山林が占め、15% が畑地だ。人口は約1万人。
Wow! Like the girl had said, this was the boondocks.
土地柄的かつ歴史的な意味合いから義務を負う非構成人が多く在住している。試験期間は無期限とする。以上。何か質問は？
You call this an examination? But what am I actually supposed to
学
do?
園へ編入し、現地住民と生活しろ。
That easy? Okay. That's all?
他に質問は？
He wasn't going to give me any details. Well, if that was the way the cookie crumbled, then so be it. Understood. So then, this girl.
分かっている。
He had always claimed that he knew everything about
知り合い
me.
だな。
We've just met.
関係は？
We're lovers.
嘘をつくのが上手くなったな。
Thanks to you.
しかし、本当に恋人なのだろう？
No. He drew a step closer.
名前を知ってるな。
Who knows? There was no way that I could have forgotten it.
正直になれ。こうやって無駄話をしている暇があるのか？
He had a point. Her name is Hinata Natsumi. She's a childhood friend of mine. I'm telling you the truth.
よかろう。
He asked no further questions. At that moment, a woman that I recognized arrived. Hello. She was one of my fellow cadets. We had only met once before. I believe her name was Nagumo Erisan. She was the most promising cadet among the current candidates for the position of Special High-Class Individual. Anyone active in the field of law certainly had heard of her. Even though she was quite young, well, I was younger than she was. Anyway, she was considered a genius when it came to law. I had never beaten her when it came to academic test scores, practical examinations aside.
昼夜を問わず歩いてきたのですが、途中水害で氾濫していた川に出くわしてしまいまして。
I see, so we were the only ones who made it to the final exam. I hoped we could work together to make it out of this. Yep. Oh, Pops. Yeah. I remember. Her body spasmed for an instant, then crumbled to the ground like a marionette with its strings cut. Her body convulsed twice, and then she spoke no longer. The whole thing was somewhat odd. A thick red liquid spilled out from her head and dyed the stems of the sunflowers around us. Hey, she was dead. A person. Right in front of me. Ooh, choices. Right, top one. My throat went dry. Hozuki, sir.
すぐ無駄口を叩くのがお前の欠点だ。
This wasn't pointless chatter. I am well aware of just how strict of a person you are. He was a level-headed leader who would not hesitate to kill anyone who broke a law or disobeyed an order. However, can I say one thing? I shifted my field of vision downward. That yellow ribbon looked good on her, just as it always had. If anything happens to her, I'll kill you. I'm not bluffing. You do well to remember that. I left without looking back. At the dawn of summer, I had returned here after 7 years, to the sunflower-enclosed town where the traces of my innocent dreams remained.
「夏の吐息を連れた夕焼けのもと佇み」「私はただ思いを馳せる」「誰もいない世界に一人生き残るものの罪を誰が笑えるでしょうか」「ひまわりたちは答えることなく赤く染まる頬に流れる涙を拭わずに歌い続けよう」「触れられない右手はただ風の中をさまよえるのだとしても」「それはただあなたのために」「いつまでもあなたのために」
Akabe Soto. So. I said it wrong. Oops. Akabe Soto. To. So.